Hi. I want to share an experience I had yesterday morning when I was meditating. Now, I kind of go up and down with meditation. Sometimes it's great. Sometimes I go weeks or months without meditating. It's not something that I have any particular rules around, but it is something that I enjoy. And I got back into it just over the last few days. And yesterday, I noticed something slightly different happen whilst I was sat down meditating. Because what I used to do quite a lot was I would sit down to meditate, and especially if I hadn't done it in a while, it would kind of be a little bit harder to get into, and I would notice myself having all of these thoughts popping up across that time, and I might get to the end of my meditation slot and kind of feel kind of disappointed and oh, I didn't really get much out of that, or I was thinking a lot, or my mind drifted a lot. And I know meditation is all about quietening the mind and having no thoughts, and I didn't do it that well. I wasn't able to do it that well. And what I would sometimes find myself doing is beat myself up innocently without realizing I was doing it, but in the moment be like, oh, you've gone off again. Oh, that's another thought that you've had. Oh, come back, come back to stillness, come back to quiet. And something different happened yesterday. I went off into thought. And bear in mind, this it may or may not, I don't know, it may be related to the fact that I hadn't meditated in quite a while, but I went off into thought, and I had such a sweet, gentle relationship with the fact that I did that. And that was new for me. It wasn't that I wanted to go off into thought, because I didn't, but it also wasn't that I wanted to not go off into thought, because I didn't. It was like I was just letting what was happening happen. And I had this image in the moment of wringing out a towel, like a tea towel. And what kind of came to mind was, in this moment, I'm going to have to wring out that towel a few times before there's nothing left, before there's no water left. So when these thoughts were coming in and I was starting to go and think about work, or I was thinking about what I was going to do later that day, or thinking about something that happened yesterday, there was no issue internally with me having that thought, or those thoughts, or series of thoughts, or losing 5 minutes of my meditation to thought, because it felt like, oh, I'm just wringing out the towel. Like, this is exactly what needs to happen right now. And it's possible, as I'm reflecting on it now, that I gave myself a little bit extra grace because it had been so long since I'd meditated. So it was kind of like, this is what to expect when you get back into it. But actually, that's irrelevant. That might have been something that I needed, that I did in the moment, but I could do that anytime. I could do that even if I meditated every day for a week, and on the eighth day this happens. Like, I could exercise and practice this kindness to myself. But there was something really calming about being able to recognize that, oh, this is just sometimes what happens, is that I need to get out all of those thoughts. And it almost became that I was grateful for having the thoughts. It was almost like, oh, okay, here's another thought that needs to come through me. Isn't that good? Because that's another ring of the towel. And then I might go a few moments without thinking, and then the next thought would come up. Or I might go a few moments of like noticing my thinking and allowing it to pass through, and treating it like a cloud, and just kind of coming back to meditation. And then another few minutes would go past, where I'm totally in my mind, totally in something. And it would be like, oh, that's good. I did another one. I did another ring of the towel. It felt so different. It felt so calming and freeing, and like, oh, this whole experience is working for me. This whole experience is here to help me to move through the thought into something deeper. It was like part of it, rather than something that I have to get through, or stop, or complete, or get to the end of in order to experience the good stuff. It was like, this is part of the whole process. I can't possibly get to no thought without wringing, because the towel's wet. So I've got to dry that towel, and then there might, I might experience something else. That was really helpful for me to see that, and I thought I would share it with you just in case it's helpful for you. All right, take care. All the best.